Pythagorean theorem today. And if you recall in our last lesson, it seemed like we spent all of our time trying to find the diagonal side, or C. And today we're actually going to practice finding some of the other sides. But let's just recall what we did the first time to find C so that we can recognize how this process works. So we got this theorem that we call the Pythagorean theorem that helps us solve for this letter, how long it is, by doing this. A squared plus B squared does in fact equal C squared, and it can be shown in a lot of different ways. All right, so in this case, A, which we're going to call the number going up and down, is 42. So 42 squared plus B, the bottom down here, 56 squared, has to equal C squared. So first of all, let's find out the value of those buttons, or those numbers. So we grab our calculator and we do 42 x squared plus 56 x squared. And so the total comes out to be 4,900. So we're going to have 4,900 equals C squared. Now, in order to get C, we have to just take the square root of both sides. And so that's going to give us C equals, and we take our calculator, and we've got 4,900 already on the display, so we just do the square root, and it turns out to be 70. So that length of C up here is 70 millimeters. Pretty nifty theorem there. Okay, now remember we did a proof, or showed a proof on our last lesson as well, where we mentioned again that A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Well, in this particular picture, A squared happens to be 9. So maybe the side length is actually 3, but we've already multiplied 3 times 3 to get 9. B squared, the bottom here, that side length must have been 4, so we've done 4 times 4, which equals 16. And so 16 plus 9 has to equal C squared. What is 16 plus 9? Well, if you take a close look, that turns out to be 25. So in this particular question, it's asking what is C squared? And so we now know from our picture and analyzing our picture that it does in fact equal 25. All right. Okay, let's move on here. So we remember, here's our Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. These are the sides of a right triangle. And the two shorter sides, which are called legs, if you square them and add them together, you get the square of the longer side, or whatever that C equals. Like if it's 10 or 15, you multiply it by itself, and it equals the other two squared legs as well. So that's pretty amazing. Now, there's a couple more videos you might want to check out that'll help you understand it even better and display